Hey guys, what's up? And Shadolance back for another review. I'm getting around to the M60, one of the very first GP MGs you ever get in the game. And honestly, it's a great MG for early in the game, but machine guns in general just aren't that great for pretty much anything as far as elim and stuff. Although this one is a little bit more suited to elim than some other machine guns. I do prefer this for elim over the MK48, although the MK48 does perform very well. Of all the machine guns in the game, the M60 series and the MG34/42 series are the most tappable. So, if you have to use a machine gun at long range for whatever reason, this is one of the better ones to do it with. Going into stats, damage of 48 is very high for this low rank of a GP machine gun. Portability of 30 is obviously very low to help counteract that. Rate of fire of 73 is just about average for a machine gun, usually between 70 and the higher 70s, 78-ish. Accuracy of 58 is kind of a lie, in my opinion. I feel like the accuracy is a bit higher on this than it says. I guess around 65. Recoil of 73 is pretty much accurate. It jumps up pretty quickly, but it is controllable, especially if you're trying to tap fire. So if you tap fire with this and don't spray as much, unless you're in cabin fever or whatever else you probably should be using a machine gun in, you're probably going to be fine. So the recoil is not too bad. It's totally manageable. It's fully automatic only and can take an extended magazine, although most people don't tend to put extended magazines on machine guns. They tend to put fast loader magazines, so they can make it more like an assault rifle without a scope instead of a machine gun, since it does have that higher amount of damage. However, that is becoming less and less popular these days with the higher damage assault rifles that we've been seeing in the past few years. Now, one gripe that I have about with Nexon and machine guns is that although they're releasing all these other guns, they are not releasing any new machine guns at all. Really, the only new ones we've seen are the M60 E4 Steel, which came out almost a year ago, if not more than a year ago now, and the MG42 Steel, which came out not long after that. So honestly, we've not seen a lot of new machine guns recently. We know Hauser is supposed to have an epic machine gun, but we still have not seen that yet, and it's been more than a year since we've known about that. And just in general, we have not seen a lot in the way of machine guns, partially because they are so underused and pretty much no one uses them. We've seen some new shotguns, which are the second most underused guns in the game, but we really haven't seen a lot in the way of machine guns, and I would honestly love to see a lot more. I would love to see a GP machine gun that is earlier ranked with an ACOG scope on it. I think that would be incredibly useful, even if it had a slightly higher recoil. I think that would be awesome. Now, the reason machine guns were originally used in the game for most things was because they had a very high damage in comparison to assault rifles. Assault rifles back in the day had 36 to 39 damage, not 40 plus. Machine guns and some shotguns were the only things that had above that 40 damage mark. So that's why people sometimes use machine guns, and the M60 was one of the most popular ones for that. There were a few others if you really wanted to pay an extra one. The M60 Steel and the M21E were really the ways to go, because the M21E had that burst mode, making it slightly more usable for elim than the average machine gun might be. In my opinion, you should really stick to using these for Cabin Fever and maybe Desert Thunder or some of those other more storm-based games that you might be playing. Black Lung, I still prefer to take assault rifles too because of the way the maps are laid out, so that's just my personal preference. Also, you do need to be able to jump around a lot more in that game than in Cabin Fever, so you know, it's just your own preference. I'm going to be comparing it to the M60 Steel, the basic NX standard variant, which is pretty much the only other one you're ever going to see. The M60 E4 Steel is good for selling back for GP, in my opinion, not for anything else. And I don't really think anyone pays for the GP rare machine gun, because at that point you're not really using machine guns in the game anymore. So really, this is the only other one. 48 damage, portability of 30, rate of fire of 73, accuracy of 58, and recoil of 73. And with that, guys, I have to conclude this review, so thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shadolance out.